This is Guru Focus First Look, your morning market brief for Monday, July 27. Here are the stories driving markets today. Chinese memory chip maker CXMT surged 466% on its first trading day in Shanghai after raising $8.6 billion in Asia's largest initial public offering this year, making it China's most valuable onshore listed company. Turning now to global markets, stocks and U.S. futures rallied while oil prices plunged as the United States signaled a pause in strikes against Iran, easing geopolitical tensions and boosting investor sentiment ahead of the Federal Reserve meeting. U.S. stock futures climbed by more than 500 points, and oil prices fell sharply as the de-escalation calmed markets before key economic events.
On the Federal Reserve, policymakers are widely expected to keep interest rates unchanged at their upcoming meeting. However, a future rate hike remains possible as inflation risks persist, and investors are closely monitoring the Fed's decision alongside major tech earnings this week. This next story is about Shein, which reported a $99 million loss. The private fast fashion company cited the impact of tariffs on Chinese imports imposed by the previous U.S. administration, underscoring ongoing trade tensions affecting global retailers. Meanwhile, Oracle shares rose after reports that NVIDIA may invest $250 billion to support OpenAI's data center expansion, highlighting surging demand for artificial intelligence infrastructure.
Now, let's turn to NVIDIA, which announced new artificial intelligence research partnerships with South Korea's KIST, SK Hynix, and Naver. These collaborations support South Korea's ambitions to become a global hub for AI innovation. Also making news today, Microsoft is preparing for a closely watched earnings report after a year marked by significant artificial intelligence investments and increased competition in cloud and enterprise software. On the energy front, the U.S. national average gasoline price jumped 15 cents to $4.09 per gallon, driven by higher crude prices and continued instability in the Middle East. Staying with commodities, gold prices held steady near $4,050 per ounce as oil retreated and investors focused on Middle East developments and the upcoming Federal Reserve meeting. Turning to Singapore, the country's central bank unexpectedly tightened monetary policy for a second consecutive time to address inflation risks stemming from rising oil prices. In corporate strategy news, Ford is expanding its vehicle customization offerings by launching new performance kits and broadening its custom garage accessory program, aiming to boost profits by encouraging more customers to personalize their vehicles. Elsewhere, China's industrial profit growth slowed in June as falling oil prices reduced earnings momentum, signaling ongoing challenges for the country's manufacturing sector. On the infrastructure front, extreme heat and surging demand from new data centers are straining aging U.S. power grids, raising concerns about reliability and the need for further investment. Now, let's look at upcoming earnings. Cadence Design Systems, F5, Amkor Technology, Sanmina, and Rambus are all scheduled to report today, with analyst estimates ranging from 45 cents to $2.91 per share in earnings, and revenues spanning from $198 million to over $3.3 billion. Finally, in notable insider transactions, Opaleye Management purchased over 200,000 shares of Alpha Cognition for a total of $1.56 million, while directors and executives at Liquidia, United Therapeutics, C Limited, and Artiva Biotherapeutics reported significant sales and purchases, with transaction values ranging from $2.58 million to $17.79 million. That wraps up today's market update. We'll be back soon with the latest market news. Thanks for listening to the Guru Focus Brief.